show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Loaded up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no, I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Ooh, you take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Well, we're going to take a look at the Brazilian insurrection and Kevin McCarthy finally becoming Speaker of the House after 15 rounds of voting. This is Radical Truth to Power. Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the Progressive News Show. I am your host, Marlon Clyburn, along with Theus Robinson, Tracy Carson, and Anna Hart. And we're going to get right into it because this is breaking news. We don't have anything up to date other than it seems like everything is now under control. That's the last bit of news that I did get. Brazil had its own insurrection, just so happened to be 2 days after our 2-year anniversary of the capital insurrection. So before we get into it, how's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
All right, y'all calm down now. Let's see what's up. Let's see who's out there. Hi, everybody. Like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Tracy Carson. So without further ado, let's get this party started. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it and get a little update on the Brazilian insurrection.
A look at the day's other headlines begins in Brazil's capital city of Brasilia, where hundreds of supporters of former President Jair Bolsonaro stormed the grounds of the country's Congress, presidential palace, and Supreme Court. They claim, without factual basis, that Bolsonaro's election defeat last year was due to fraud. The crowds clashed with police in riot gear, who responded with tear gas. Inside, chants of "Lula lost" were heard as the crowds vandalized the halls and lounged on the furniture. New Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva was inaugurated last week. He was in a different city today. Bolsonaro left Brazil days ago. The far-right ex-president has long sown distrust over the legitimacy of the country's election system. The U.S. says it condemns any effort to undermine democracy.
So Bolsonaro pulled that, and this is funny because I think me and Theus was trying to figure this out, or at least I was trying to figure it out. We don't know. I couldn't figure out, was Bolsonaro pulling a Trump card or was Trump pulling from Bolsonaro? Because it seemed like they did it's the exact same playbook. There is no, it's not a similarity. It's the exact same thing. You lost. There was the election was rigged. Surprisingly enough, Bolsonaro, one, was not in Brazil when this happened. He happens to be in Florida. Two, his advisors just happened to be Steve Bannon and Stephen Miller. the same advisors of Donald Trump. So I'm just going to say this real quick. When you have something so hideous as the January 6th insurrection, and 2 years later, the main players of it is still walking around free. This is the playbook you don't gave the rest of the world now. Because we already know we already went through. You're playing the puppets, and the puppets will go out there and do what the puppet masters tell them to do and everything. If they get caught, they get caught and everything else. And that's what every little leaders of free countries is going to take the playbook out of. 2 years. 2 years. None of the main players been sniffed. We've had great primetime TV shows. Fantastic. Appreciate it. I did get more information out of those shows than I knew about, but I'm on Thursday. Now what? Now what? How many of these more insurrections do it have to be?
Well, to be fair, bro, I mean, we look at it the way we look at it because we sit here. I don't remember the exact term you used for how bad Jan 6 was, whatever, but it really wasn't that big a deal to me because it just wasn't. I think the people who did it need to go to jail, and the people who orchestrated it need to go to jail. But we know how our government system works. The more connected you are, the slower justice moves because you can afford the best legal representation. So, yeah, it's been 2 years. It has to be 2 years because if they moved any faster, the type of lawyers that these cats have at their disposal, they'd be able to beat the charges. So the government has to move stupid slow because they have to cover everything and then decide who they can actually get. But that's like looking at it just from, our own little view. The similarities between this and Brazil are just way too close to just be like they're unique. But at the same time, these kinds of events have been going on around the world for quite some time, oftentimes because we orchestrated it there too. And we didn't think anything of it because it was happening over there.
Yeah, I had to laugh at that part about, and the United States condemn any type of, man, shut up.
Well, they have to say that.
They can say it
because the whole government didn't do it. It was a particular slice that attempted a coup, because that's what it was. It was a coup. Wasn't an insurrection. It was a coup. But America wants to keep it, hush hush and try to clean it up with nicer language because, if you use the college words over the high school words, then maybe we can keep people from really understanding what the hell happened. So yeah, and then what I thought was kind of hilarious with some of the video footage. I'm like, just make those people white, and it was the same thing. Like it was like the exact same, like the same images, people walking around with cameras. It's like serious event mixed with family picnic, and
I have to push back on one thing about that though. And I apologize if comes off as sounding some type of way. Hey guys, y'all can't dress alike because it just looked like a real huge soccer game to me when y'all dressed in the same colors and everybody was like, y'all just, it just look. I just looked and went, okay. I understand it's supposed to be an attack, but yeah.
But that's just it. It wasn't meant to be an attack. It was supposed to be a sign of solidarity for the guy who wasn't supposed to be there. So if they had come dressed in like, black fatigues, then it would have been treated like an attack and people would have died. But when you all show up color coordinated in what looks like picnic apparel, then you might not get shot. So I think that might have been a part of it. But nobody thought it was funny that everybody was buying the same, short set. Everybody got the same short set going on.
And when they walked in, I got some film that I probably show next week if something comes of it. One of these gaslighting things they said was they don't January 6th. They don't look like terrorists. They look like tourists. No, these people in Brazil,
these people look
really
like tourists.
did look like tourists, taking pictures, sitting down, chilling out. Where we gonna meet for lunch?
But that happened here too. That happened here too. And we only saw that one angle. So what we don't know is kind of like with the January 6th assault, they had an aspect of it that was like lighthearted and walking into the rotunda, taking pictures, and then getting the hell back out of there. And then you had another side that was like very militaristic. And then you had another side that was just like vandals. So it's like we just saw that one side of this thing. There's probably going to be more footage that comes out, if we care enough to see any of it. And we'll see. But overall, January 6th in America, not that it's a serious issue, but not a big deal to me. It just reinforced what I already kind of felt about this country. And we can do better. We have to do better. And I'm not seeing the signs that really show that we are committed to doing better. And then Brazil is just kind of like a reminder that this stuff is real. And that's what I picked up from it.
All right. So let's get to our next topic.
Well, wait a minute. What about Tracy and Anna?
I really don't know much about what happened, so.
Excuse me.
It was just, we don't have enough information on it other than the video and the reason why. Their reasoning why, by the way. So.
Yeah, they swear that it was a stolen election.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, we some people here said it was dead Chavez that did it. I wonder what dead American they're gonna say had to do with theirs.
John Kennedy.
Reagan hacked the machines.
No, Reagan's far right. They wouldn't say Reagan.
Oh.
They would blame like Obama or Clinton or Jimmy Carter. They would blame somebody on the other side.
Can we use Kennedy twice?
Yeah, you could use.
But Kennedy was supposed to be coming back to life on their side.
Yeah, and Trump was going to be his vice president.
Darn.
No, he was going to be Trump's vice president.
Yeah.
I'm moving on because, man, my head getting hurt.
I care. I guess I should care more about foreign issues and I should pay more attention. Unfortunately, I don't. And I kind of know the guy that got elected. He's more of a leftist. He's more in step with what I think. But dude is in Florida. Like, did he really care? Like, he fanned it. Then he's like, yep, I'm going to get on this plane, go to Florida. And why Florida, I wonder? They should just
go out there with his homie.
He should already, what the government should do is extradite his behind right back to Brazil. But of course, the party that complains about migrants coming over here illegal won't do a darn thing. But
and you know what also is kind of funny? And this is it's just a weird coincidence. The pathological liar that just got put in office from New York, he's Brazilian and has felonies pending in Brazil, and we aren't extraditing him back, of course, because he's a sitting member of Congress. But it's just like the connections between the U.S. and Brazil is like on so many different points. It's just kind of funny to me.
And then we wonder why people hate us so much. Gee, I wonder why.
They have something to do with us being a bunch of hypocrites. I'm sorry, but not sorry. All right, we're going to move on to our used to be top story. It probably is still our top story. Kevin McCarthy is now Speaker of the House.
The total number of votes cast is 428, of which the Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California has received 216. Honorable Hakeem Jeffries of the state of New York has received 212.
Who's this young suck-up sitting next to Kevin McCarthy with the black hair?
With 6 recorded as present. Therefore, the Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Oh, let me go. Oh, can I please? Can I please? Dude, why is you cheering? 15 times it took. Sit down. There's no way I'd have put myself through that humiliation. No way. After maybe the second vote, I would have. Maybe third. But when it got to 5, I'm dropping out. Because apparently my own party. Dude sitting here cheering like he just won the Super Bowl, the Nobel Peace Prize, the lottery. Dude, they don't want you. You're going to be an ineffective leader. You're always going to have people chasing you to get rid of you. Why are you cheering? You should have turned that job down. Let Hakeem Jeffries be Speaker of the House, although I'm not too happy that the squad voted for him. But that's a whole different discussion for a whole different day. Dude, why is you celebrating? They don't want you. You are cheering like you done just hit the lottery, won a car, you done won on The Price is Right, then won both showcases. Stop. Stop. Stop.
What Tracy said, because I'm sitting there looking at dude and I'm like, real talk, the same 6 votes that abstained, if they had voted for Hakeem Jeffries, he'd be the speaker. Like, that's how close and dumb this whole thing was, man. Like, come on. You didn't win anything. The main thing you did was now you don't have to pay for them to move your furniture back out of the office that you weren't supposed to be in anyway. So you have no power left. If anybody wants to put us back through this same circus, they could do it at any time because it only needs one. Just one person to say, I have a no confidence, and now we got to go through this all over again. And then you done put Freedom Caucus nut jobs on important committees that they have no business being in, so they're just going to make that a kangaroo court. You've accomplished nothing. The only thing you did was something for yourself, and that was you got that title. That's all you wanted.
Yeah.
You want that title, and you would sell anything to get it.
And then the part...
To be perfectly clear, little Kev, You got a title.
That's
You have
it.
no power, dude. You gave it all away. The only thing you will be remembered in history is being the weakest House Speaker ever.
In 200 years.
No, 162.
No, it's been 200 years.
1923 and 2023 is 100 years.
That's that one. But then, right before the Civil War, it was the last time they got over like 10 times having to vote to get to their speaker. So this dude has reset the clock on the whole country.
And here's the thing.
Like, nobody's as bad as you, man.
He never did have power. He showed how bad of a negotiator he is. This whole thing started off with, I'll give you 5 to say that he can get booted out. Then he goes down to 1. Dude, what do you stand on? And I was personally hoping that this would go on for a little bit longer because I hate to say this. No, here's why I say this. Here's why I say this. It was getting funny to me. I was getting
It was
joy.
hilarious.
I mean, I got joy. I shouldn't get joy. Maybe I have to give an account of getting joy out of this, but this, especially when they had to separate her boy from Alabama from Matt Gaetz. That was my favorite part. That was my favorite part.
Let's get into it, then. The fight.
And get what that will ultimately be. But as we're waiting to hear again from the new Speaker of the House when he'll address reporters outside of his office, we're getting some new reporting in about what happened during that very, and we'll just call it a heated moment that everyone leaned into their television screens to watch during that failed 14th vote. What can you tell us about that moment?
That was just such an incredible moment. I've been covering Congress for 10 years. I have never seen anything like that on the House floor before. But we are learning new details thanks to my colleague Annie Greer, who is in the chamber and was also working her sources to figure out what happened. And in this moment, that moment is when Kevin McCarthy realized that he wasn't going to have the votes because Rosendale had voted present. And so Kevin McCarthy was completely dejected. You saw him walk up the aisle towards where Boebert and Gaetz were sitting and pleading with them to vote for him. He was in a moment of desperation. And then you saw Mike Rogers coming up from behind the well, coming down the aisle. And this is someone, he's a chairman. He is a close McCarthy ally. He has been growing more frustrated with the holdouts all week. So that is important context. In fact, we are told that he had threatened to kick some of the holdouts off of their committee assignments if they didn't fall in line. So he was so frustrated, he came down the aisle, and sources told Annie Greer that he basically said, Matt, you're finished, to him. And at that point, Hudson, another member, came up behind him, sort of muzzled him and tried to hold him back so he wasn't able to speak anymore. But it really spoke to the moment of just how tense things were and how it looked like it was all falling apart for Kevin McCarthy. But almost as quickly as it fell apart, things then came together. We were told that leadership was then informed that Gaetz was a yes, and then they were, instead of motioning to adjourn, there was another moment of chaos where they switched their votes and they were deciding to do another speaker vote. And then what ended up happening is every single one of those remaining holdouts voted present. So just a complete roller coaster of a vote, of a day, of a week, really ever since the midterms. This has been a roller coaster for Kevin McCarthy. So a huge sigh of relief for him and his allies tonight.
Favorite part?
I mean, I don't know. I looked at that whole thing and it was just pathetic because, first of all, that old man from Alabama wasn't gonna do nothing. And then I'm looking at the video and I'm like, this is the first time I've actually watched the video play out. And I'm like, that's the most tame thing I've seen in a while. All he did was walk towards a man and say some stuff. Wasn't no fight about to happen. But what does the media do? It always takes the smallest thing and make it bigger because we got to make sure it's the most entertaining, the most riveting thing. And I'm like, you could have covered a bad fart and it would have been just as powerful as that thing right there. Like, what the hell? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Because you've never seen people in Congress go at it like that. We've
had people in Congress fight each other. We've had people in Congress fight each other. Who is it? The go far enough back, old boy shot old boy. So it's like.
But we didn't see that. That wasn't recorded.
But still, this was nothing. This was nothing. Like
Dude,
literally.
we done had 15 votes to get this man in. It was already entertaining enough. Let's go ahead and just add this to it.
Yeah, this was like the cherry on
Yeah,
the ice
I
cream.
get it.
This wasn't a
But that's just the people who are seeking drama, man.
WrestleMania moment. I get that, but still, it's
We
like,
wasn't seeking it. They just gave it to us. They just said, "Here
it
you
was
go."
weak. No. I'm saying people are seeking drama because they're taking something that's a 2 and acting like it's an 8. That's what I mean by seeking drama. This is not something that rises to the level of attention that it's been getting, but we're doing it because it's something that is like, wow, we can make something out of this. My bigger point is this is the 118th Congress, right? This is the first congressional shutdown of the Republican Congress for this cycle. Every time that they take control of Congress, we get shutdowns because that's what they do. They don't want to govern. They want to just stop the government. And then these 6 to 20 rogue agents, they don't even want any of that. They want to destroy the government. So we're sitting here looking at this hilarity, but the reality underneath it is this was a government shutdown. They were able to run the same people who were partially responsible for bringing us the insurrection 2 years ago are the same ones who just led a mini insurrection in the Congress as they tried to get started. The same people, all the same names come to the top for this one that was in the last one, and people weren't getting paid. Nobody was getting votes. We didn't even have a House of Representatives because nobody could be sat down. That means all of this stuff was a government shutdown. But instead of the media telling us this is a government shutdown, instead they had us focus on the circus. And that is so annoying to me because they know better. They could do better. They just choose not to.
I have never seen a congressperson that had to be held down. Yeah, it was minor, but still, I've never seen.
But wait a minute.
My man grabbed him by the shoulders like this. If you're trying to hold somebody, you come around him. He did this right here, like, hey man, calm it down, man. It's not necessary.
He had his hand over his mouth.
He put his hand over his mouth, like, shut up, don't say nothing.
And that's some punk stuff right there. Walk up on me and put your hands on my mouth if you want to. Now you're gonna get a show. Now you're gonna get a show.
Give you an elbow. But here's the deal. Now, this I can see where you're coming from, Diaz, when we're talking about the next day watching it. But if we're watching this live,
when I was
watching all of this going, we're not going to sit here and use logic of, well, wait a minute, why are we not talking about the government shut? We're looking at, holy crap, what the hell is going on?
I was saying that the whole time, so I don't ever suspend logic as best I can. And I'm still saying, I don't know, maybe people ain't been in enough fights in their life or whatever. This wasn't a fight. This was a break in decorum. But everything we just experienced for this week was a break in decorum. It was just ridiculous. But it's like, I don't know. It's just, people just want to show, man. And that's really, really starting to irritate me the older I get.
I was personally hoping this would go into next week. I was like, please let this go.
I honestly didn't care one way or the other. I thought it was entertaining and it was funny, and I get all that.
Great laugh.
It was funny, and I get all that. But let's just call it the way it is now that the deaths are subtle, everybody's voted in, and all this other stuff. I'm not in no mood to hear about Hunter Biden laptop again.
Yep, you know that's coming.
I'm not in the mood about hearing about how you go to get rid of Joe Biden because the sun came up 2 minutes late on a Tuesday and he's responsible for the solar system. I'm not in the mood for that.
Their first so-called hearing. Well, actually, they've already started their first piece of business. Their first piece of business was they're trying to stop the funding for the IRS agents. That's the very first thing. Of all the things going on in the country right now, that's the very first thing that they decided to go after because they want to protect their donors. So that's the first move. Their second move is they said they're going to have the show trials down at the border. So Congress is going to run the bill up on us to pay for them to go to Texas to do some show trials when they need to be doing it. If they want to do this, do your investigation, but do that in Washington. You're only doing it down there because one, it ain't your money, and two, you want to put on a show. So it's like all of this is happening, and our media is complicit, and our people, all of us, are complicit because we don't demand them focusing on what's actually being done. We're just waiting on the show. And it's like we're all just a bunch of reality TV addicts. We don't even act like this is really happening to real people. There are people who their benefits were in danger of not being done because we didn't have a house to actually sign off on the budget. We have people who work in these offices who were not going to be able to pay their rent or pay for their kids' tuition or whatever because their paychecks were being stopped because the house was busy playing. So it's like, on one hand, yeah, it was silly time because we know how silly these people are, and then they just put it on display. So on one hand, there's that. But on the other hand, there's some real stuff going on. And I'm starting to get so upset with people.
It is the electorate. But come on. I mean, I'm going to have to say, but come on. Me, personally, the petty in me was so happy. I mean, the first round, the second round, the third round, the fourth round, the fifth round. I'm going to keep going all the way. The sixth round, it showed two things. One, when Kevin McCarthy has the speakership, what makes him think that those 6 that voted president aren't going to vote to have him vacate the seat? He thinks this is just going to go easy peasy. He's going to have such a hard time, quote unquote, governing that I don't, like I said, I can't understand why he was celebrating because I'm like, they gonna get you out. Do you not understand that one person, not 5, not 10, not 12, but one person in the Republican caucus can call for your seat to be vacated? Are you serious?
And they'll do it within the first 90 days.
And his re-election is coming up. Guaranteed, I know what's coming. They're going to get somebody to primary him. And they're going to make sure that person gets enough campaign funds. They may not win, but they're going to make it difficult for him to maintain his seat. Like I said, I can't figure out why he's I'm like, dude, they don't want you. They don't want you.
He's the guy who has never been anything but a manager, though. Like, he's never been a regular House member. He has been in leadership the whole time that he's been in Congress. So he's that guy who got hired as a supervisor and then got promoted to being a manager. And the only thing he can allow for is becoming a district manager. That's all he can do. There's no way in his mind that he could go back to being a supervisor or worse yet, have to drive the forklift. That's this guy, right? His whole world is the title, And
they voted for Trump to be Speaker of the House. They might as well have put my name in there. But hey,
it was Gates.
Just put me up there. I mean, I'm more qualified than Kevin McCarthy. I'm just saying, we could do a comparison.
No, I'm with you.
I think after the third time, I'm just gonna sit my butt down.
I'm quitting. I'm done. It's like, no, y'all don't want me.
I'm sorry, man. After the third time, I was like, this is embarrassing. You went 15 times, and then
when you got an ego that big, your ego is that big.
Man, your ego
you think you're worth it.
Your ego should have been strong after it got to double digit.
Once it got past 5, I'm like, dude, give it up. He didn't. I want that faith like Kevin McCarthy got, where you just don't quit. You just keep going no matter how many times you hear no. You just keep going. Hey, Parker.
Hello. But yeah, I mean, and then also much of this stuff happens with most of the speakerships, but it happens behind closed doors. They don't take it to the floor to make it happen. That's how weak this guy is. Like, he couldn't make any headway beforehand, so he tried to use, and this is where I'm gonna say those 20 people are right. He tried to bully them into doing what he wanted them to do.
Yeah.
Right? He decided, okay, you're not doing what I want behind closed doors, So I'm gonna see if you'll talk that same noise when all the cameras are on you. And they came out and was like, yeah, still talking it. So
Yep. And it's sad, as a leftist, I think about, I don't even like saying his name, Jimmy Dumb Doorknob said that the squad should do this. Jimmy Dore. He said that when Nancy Pelosi was coming up to be chair, they should do, I know you have heard of force the vote. His idea was you don't vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House until she guarantees that Medicare for all goes onto the floor. And some of us thought, dumb idea, which that would be me. And then others thought, oh, this is a great idea. You're going to force their vote. You'll get them on record. I'm like, we already know what they say. But
Jimmy Dore has never been sincere about any position.
Absolutely.
Well, not never. In the last 5 years, Jimmy Dore has not been sincere about anything.
But
he is a conservative.
Absolutely.
Jimmy Dore has now become that person who sways with the wind. Like he don't have a.
Oh no, he sways with the right. He's definitely right.
He sways with what's going to pay for those 2 big ass houses he got. That's what
That's my point. He's swaying with whichever way it's go. Hey.
But I think on
that one.
Yeah, but I think what people are saying is, what if the squad had tried what these 6 to 20 Republicans tried? What would have been?
Yes,
it would have been a complete. It'd have been a complete crap show because what could they win from it? Like that's the whole problem with this nonsense with these 6 to 20 people.
Yeah,
like they did this just because it was a moment of opportunity. But at the end of the day, you can't get anything from it. And then Nancy Pelosi, she never would have let it roll like this.
No,
never. Soon as they started making that noise, like they were not going to vote for her, and that she would have either refused to go up for the nomination and let somebody else go do it, or she would have done what she needed to do behind closed doors to get it done. So, like the squad, they just wouldn't do that. It's like it would be counterproductive to what the squad says that they're there to do. Like the squad says that they're there to continue to push for progressive changes and to get more progressives involved. That's what the squad says that they want to do. These conservative knuckle dragging weird people, they're not trying to reform the government. They want to stop the government. So like their objectives are completely opposite. So they can't use the same tactics.
And I never did, and I don't want to make this whole discussion force the vote, but I never, I'm like, but we already know that they're against Medicare for all. We don't need them on record. Their voices on the issue is their record. I didn't get what the big ask for. Now these J-Hoos, these 6 to 20, I don't know what the heck they was asking for. It just seemed like they just didn't like Kevin McCarthy. They just didn't like him.
They don't like Kevin McCarthy, and they want to tear up the government. But as far as force to vote, I don't have a problem with that. The timing is where I said was dumb. Like it just didn't make sense for when Dore and the people like him were saying it. It just didn't make sense. There was no value to it. But I do strongly advocate for skinny bills, up and down votes, so that we get your name on where you are, and you can't hide behind something else that's on there, right? And that's one thing that these crazy people are pushing for too. They want skinny bills, but they want skinny bills just so they can stop the government. I would like to see skinny bills so that when you say Medicare for all, we can actually debate what that means,
what's in it,
and what you're after. Right, but we can't get that because because the American populace, we will punish you for trying to make a real change. So no one wants a skinny bill. Like if they're going to do something big, they want an omnibus. They need something else. They need defense spending, or they need it to be huge so that they can hide. Because even if you voted for Medicare for all, what are you going to get? you could be the group that manages to get Medicare for all. You could be part of that House group and Senate group, and then you manage to get Medicare for all passed. And everybody that was supporting it would be like, yay. And then the people who are against it will be like, boo. And then
it goes to the Senate
implementation. No, I'm saying, let's say it passes. It goes to the president and he signs off on it, and now it's law.
But backtrack that, because Biden said that if Medicare for all somehow passed the Senate, which it never would, that he would veto it. So it would never
He might. But make him do it. Like, that kind of goes to what you were saying before, Tracy.
What you say?
There was a little bit more to that sentence of Biden's, that he would veto if they couldn't show a solid payment system.
Yeah. So, because he and Obama were actually in favor of something that would take us to single payer, but they had to, this Affordable Care Act was a stop along the way because of what they're dealing with, like the way the political winds are. So, but even within that, let's say it all gets through though. It all gets through and it becomes the law of the land. They would all lose their reelection. Every last one of them. Because only thing people remember is the last thing they experienced. And the last thing that they would experience are the layoffs and the stock market dropping and all the things that come with that transition piece as we move away from all these greedy insurance companies and narrowing it down into like 2 or 3 or 4 remaining. People will be so upset with the chaos that they would punish everybody who gave us Medicare for all. And no one wants to hold that bag. No one does. And that's why our Congress is so screwed, and our presidency, they're so screwed because they stick with incrementalism, because if you go incrementally, people don't punish you. But if you do something big, you better hope it's perfect.
Which you won't be.
All right, so that is gonna cut it short here on the first hour of the show. I think if we go into something else, then we're gonna go way over, and I don't want to do that. So we're gonna take our first break to reboot and refresh, and we'll see you all on the other side in 3 minutes. Stay tuned.
I could take a break from this world, running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly, take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, finally. I always daydreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free,
are back for the second hour. So as always, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/a better Tracy media page. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/complex mind. Help support Theas in all of his endeavors. Please do not forget to support me at patreon.com/radical truth to power, exactly the way it's spelled, capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliEtc.com. Find out something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if you'd like to email me, it'll be at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. Nailed it. See, it only took me a couple of days. Well, one day. Am I the a-hole? Tracy, don't get dropped off the show.
Oh, you caught that.
I heard that. Yes. Okay, this is one of the least benign ones. Like, this ain't gonna rage anybody out, but it's something that literally happens almost every day.
A couple of weeks ago, we hired a new employee at the company. He's a good guy, and he's a widower named James who's 36. And to my knowledge, his late wife passed away 8 months ago. I'm a 32-year-old woman, and me and the other coworkers get along well with him. However, I noticed that he's still wearing his wedding band on his finger. It kinda confused me a bit, and I couldn't help but bring it up with him while on lunch break. We talked, and I pointed out that he was being misleading by still wearing his wedding band when he's a widower. He looked quite bothered by what I said, but I tried to explain that I think that he's giving people the wrong idea or impression about his relationship status since he's technically single and on his own right now. I don't want to sound cruel, but I'm speaking from a technical angle. James said that he didn't give it much thought, meaning that he doesn't care what people think, and that even if he wasn't wearing his wedding band and some woman approached him, he'd still turn them down since he's obviously not interested. For some reason, things got awkward, and everyone stopped eating and just stared at James and me. I told him, I don't know, but that really feels generally misleading of him, as in making people think that he's in a relationship when he's not, regardless of how he felt about being in that relationship. He got upset, called me rude, and said that I repeatedly disrespected his marriage and his late wife's memory with what I said. Then he took his stuff and walked away. My coworker said that, regardless of who was right or wrong, there was no reason for me to bring this up in the first place and cause a scene and make James upset with us. Like, now he's not speaking to me and others who have sided with me. I should point out that some of my coworkers said that I overreacted. Am I the butthole? Did I overstep, or did he overreact? This was just a conversation that we were casually having with other coworkers, and I didn't use any insensitive tones or anything, but we had a discussion and it suddenly turned into an argument. I tried to let things calm down, but the situation got out of hand unexpectedly.
Yes, you're the a-hole.
We've done this one before.
Did we hear
Yeah,
this
we
one?
have.
Okay.
Yep, we did.
Yeah.
You sure
Yep.
did. I think we all agreed that female coworker, she tried to slide into them DMs and he don't want her, she mad.
Well, almost 3 years of a show, so I'm going to slide in then.
But yes, you're definitely completely out of line. I don't like people with that personality type that will say things like, well, I was just being honest. No, you were being rude. And it is none of your business or your concern. And then you're at work, so some conversations you simply can't have with everybody. So yeah, I don't like people like her. Like, personally, I don't like people like her.
I don't get people like this who you have to know. You just have to know. You just have to know. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why did you do this? Why are you wearing that? Why are you talking like that? Why are you walking like that? You just have to know. And it isn't the fact that, okay, you ask a question, I answer it, and we move on. But it begins to wear on me when it seems like, okay, I ask you a question, I answer it. Oh, that's not the answer that I want. So ask you, then I'm gonna ask you in a different way, then I'm gonna ask you upside down, then I'm gonna ask you slanting it sideways. And it's at a certain point I go, why do you need to know so badly that you just can't
It's the
walk away from
entitlement.
the conversation?
It's the entitlement. It's the person who thinks that not only are, if they are wondering, then they have a right to know. And that's just how far they go with that. I have a question, so I have a right to know the answer to my question. They don't think about anyone else in that equation, you know, and it makes me think of the people, and I know it's a kind of a weird parallel, but it makes me think of the people who get upset that they can't say certain slurs, right? Whether it be racial or gender or what have you. They feel that their right to speak trumps anyone else's experience or situation. So far as this person is concerned, she's got a, you know, the what, First Amendment right, the free speech, right? And she's speaking. And she's also entitled to an answer, you know? And I hate to say it, but there's a particular demographic that really, really has a problem with this thing where they want to know, and I don't care, you owe me an answer. And that unfortunately has caused a lot of pain for a lot of people in a lot of different situations. I don't know the demographics of this particular scenario. All I know is that this was a lady who overstepped her bounds, intruded on this man's personal feelings and his life, and in one shot disrespected so much about who he is and what he comes from.
There was a statement that was said afterwards that what if the roles were reversed? And that was something that the lady was wearing that he didn't like, or he didn't understand why she was wearing.
Well, he'd be in HR, that's what.
Exactly.
And she should have been too. They should have took her butt right to HR, but like, she's out here being a pest, asking questions that she don't got no business asking.
Anyway,
agreed.
Good for the goose is good for the gander, or however that statement goes.
That was it. Real or nah? All right, so just a fair warning that this is a fairly long one. I'm going to give you my answer at the end. And Anna is one of those videos with moving stuff, so here we go.
It was around 11 o'clock p.m. on a Saturday night, and I'm sitting at home just getting ready to go to bed. I am an on-call tow truck operator and figure I'll be going out early the next morning. Right as my head hit the pillow, my two-way radio alerted me, and someone on the other side asked me if I was still awake. They said that they've got one car accident in the next town over, and that the police department wants it expedited. After a roughly 20-minute drive, I'm headed out of this small town looking for the accident, and that's when I see it. The coroner and forensic vans parked in the road amongst a dozen squad cars. And it was at that moment that I knew that this was going to be very dark. I will spare you the details, but some people were involved that were definitely under the influence and driving at the same time. A lot of injury and a lot of ruin, especially when it came to the car. So after I surveyed the scene, I set up my truck and I got to work coordinating with the people on the site to remove the vehicle from the ditch, as well as to preserve as much evidence as possible. And it was no sooner when I finally got things hooked up and was about to use my truck to get things going that I hear frantic beeping of a car horn. I turn around and directly behind me is a woman who looks to be in her early 40s, who is now just holding the horn down, letting it blare nonstop as she is just yelling out of her window. But I ignore her. I turn around and I go back to my job. And I'm just wondering how this entitled Karen had gotten past the police roadblock that was roughly a third of a mile up the road at the nearest intersection just to try and keep traffic like this out of the area. As As I'm slowly maneuvering this 8,000-pound vehicle from the road onto its side, the honking stops. Maybe 8 seconds later, I feel a hand grab my shoulder and attempt to spin me around. As a side note, I'm 6'3" and I'm 280 pounds. So there's absolutely no way this 40-something-year-old woman, who is maybe 5'4" in total, is ever achieving the goal of turning me around. I let out a sigh as I stopped what I'm doing and looked to the sky with my eyes, asking every god I can think of for the strength to not go off on this lady. I turn around and I look at this lady and I say, "Ma'am, the road is closed. You need to leave." The Karen cuts me off before I could go any further, and she says, "I don't care what you have to say. Just get out of my way. I am running late." After she said this, I was extremely annoyed, and I just talked over this entitled Karen and explained that there had been a very tragic car accident and that she needs to leave. But she would not let up, and she just kept saying, "Excuse me, I live right there." She points back behind her vehicle, "And I have to use this road to get where I'm going. You will move your truck right now or I'm calling the police." By this time, the forensic crew has heard all the yelling over the loudness of my truck idled up, and one of them walked over and engaged with this lady. The entitled Karen starts off by saying, "Which one of you is the manager? This stupid man won't move his stupid truck and let me through. I'm calling the police." And after she said this, she was actually holding the phone to the side of her head and talking to what we would later find out was 911. The forensic officer tried to explain that they are the police, but this Karen cut him off again and said, "I don't want to hear any more of your stupid excuses. Now move your truck now." But the forensic officer just stifled a chuckle and said, "Ma'am, if you don't get in your car right now and leave this crime scene, you will be arrested." And just as this officer finished saying this, a squad car came screaming down the road from the same direction that the entitled Karen came from and stopped behind her vehicle. The officer hopped out of his car, and the very first words he said were this Karen's Miranda rights. At this point, the entitled Karen screamed, kicked, and swore that everyone else should be arrested, and even tried to spit on me at one point. By the time it was all done, her other charges were obstruction, assault on an officer, misuse of 911, and interfering with an investigation. She took a deal that netted her 18 weeks in the county jail. However, as icing on the cake, I did tow her car as well. Monday morning, I met her husband, and he couldn't have been more embarrassed as he apologized over and over as he paid me, and then inspected the vehicle and signed off that we didn't damage it. The impound cost roughly $600 as it was police initiated, after hours and with storage. So hopefully this was worth it for this entitled Karen.
Yeah, this is real.
I'm gonna go with nah.
I'm gonna go with real.
I'm gonna go with nah.
Emma?
I was thinking no too much.
I'm going with nah, and I have my reason for the nah.
I'm the only one that's saying this is real.
Yeah, because the timing, it was way too much time between however she got through the barrier and by the time the other cop caught up to her to arrest her. Like, that was a lot of time and a lot of things going on. Like, I don't know how it is everywhere else. I know here, if there's a police barrier, you ain't getting through that police barrier unless you ram one of the police cars. Like, for real. There is no going around any of them. They're really good at blocking a scene. But it was just way too much dialogue going on before the cop all of a sudden pulled up as soon as the guy said, "You will be arrested." It was like, no, I can't go with this. Now, why did you say no?
Yeah, my reasoning ain't quite as cool. I think this is an amalgamism. This is a composite of a bunch of different type of Karen. So there are aspects of it that could be real. Where you lose me, solidly lose me. You kind of lose me kind of early in the story, but solidly lose me when you said she got 18 weeks. First of all, this is obviously an entitled white lady. 18 weeks.
Weeks?
Yeah, weeks.
Was it weeks or 18 days? I could have sworn it said weeks. Because if you said 18 days, I probably wouldn't be saying what I'm about to say. 18 weeks?
They say 18
okay.
weeks, 18 months.
That was weeks.
I'm pretty sure he said
It
weeks.
was pretty much. I thought it was weeks
If
too.
it was weeks, what's the point?
So we're talking about
That was
what's
her
the point?
first offense.
That's almost 5 months in jail. So ain't no way in the world that for what this person allegedly did in this story, that they giving a white woman 18 weeks. She ain't hurt nobody. She ain't shoot nobody. I mean, yeah, they said she kicked, right? But that's
And
not
spit on
how
somebody.
they treat women in this country. That almost without concern for ethnicity, really. But definitely, if she's a white lady, ain't getting no 18 weeks for this. Not for this. She would have got probation. She might have been held for 2 or 3 days at most, and that would have been it. You don't get 18 weeks for attacking the U.S. Capitol. So yeah, that part was just like a little. You put a little bit too much spin on the ball there. That's.
I believe it.
Okay, and why?
I'm with Parker. I don't know why somebody would make up this type of story, even if they compiled it from a group of stories. It just does.
Because it makes a good story. Doesn't make it real. It just makes it entertaining.
I also believe it because I've kind of seen this happen in the news lately, where some Karen calls the police with false charges, gets charged. It made complete sense to me. It just
Ain't none of them got an almost 6-month jail sentence behind it though.
All right, Anna, why
Maybe
you
that was
say-
her second offense. You don't know. We don't know.
You're right. Maybe she might have a habit of doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, she might have a habit of calling the police, and they're like, you
Well,
know
the
what?
funny thing about it is that you did say the husband came and he was embarrassed. I don't think that was the first time.
Yeah, this ain't her first
I'd have
rodeo.
been embarrassed too.
I mean, I know
even if it was the first time, I'd have been embarrassed.
But this ain't his first rodeo because the police just
that's
walked up.
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
the
This
police
ain't
just
the first
walked up
time.
on her and start reading her Miranda rights. This ain't her first rodeo. She didn't call the police before with false stuff on her mouth.
I just love the ones who tell the cops, arrest the cops. Like, can you arrest the cops for what?
You can, technically.
You can, but I would like to know what your reasoning is, other than they won't let you through.
She didn't think that the forensic police were real police. I don't know why she would think that, but obviously she did.
Well, they weren't wearing police uniforms. They probably had on white jackets.
Okay.
With the big
So they're
badges.
just helpers.
And she was stupid too. Anna, why did you say it wasn't real?
I also thought it was a conglomeration of stories. It didn't feel right. Especially the cop that just jumps out and Miranda.
That's because she keeps doing. She done been doing this before.
Yeah, I just feel it's kind of like, remember that, what was the last story we did? We did one where it was another Karen story, and it's almost like, oh, you got a Karen story? I got one too. Listen here. This is what it kind of feels like. You know, it's like, it's pick on Karens now. So we're just gonna make up a story that sounds really Karenish, and we just kind of just get around the campfire and tell Karen stories. That's how I kind of felt.
Oh my god!
Yeah, real downers here. I'm like the only one that takes people at they were. How dare I?
I have listened to so many stories, and I promise you that I do my best to give you all, everybody, the best ones. But you will be amazed at how many I have thrown in the trash because it's the exact same stories, especially when they always. I went to Walmart. I was wearing a blue shirt. Karen thought I worked there because I wore a blue shirt. I'm like, did you?
Those are probably all real.
Did you really?
Right?
People do that all the time. That happens to me when I go to Target.
Walmart.
Target,
you wear.
No, because I wasn't wearing a red shirt.
You're wrong.
I was wearing a coat. Why would I? if I worked at Target, wouldn't I have like, I don't know, a name badge and a red shirt and some
Tracy,
khakis? That's their uniform.
It'd be the ones where the guy said I was wearing camping boots, blue jeans, a ACDC t-shirt with my cardigan sweater over it. And this woman cussed me out saying, I'm going to get a manager on you and get you fired because you ain't doing your job because I saw you a few minutes ago putting stuff away on the... I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's a new little story. Like, what was the old story about the at the end of the campfire story, and when he took out his hand, it was a hook. You know, it's like it's another Karen story.
It is. Just after a while, it's just like it just blows over me. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, what makes them good is that there are real Karens out there. But it's like when you overuse something, then it doesn't have the same impact anymore.
Yeah. Foxy's videos of the week. About to be the shortest doggone show we've ever had, ever. Cool.
I feel for all the people out there where your real name is Karen, and now you have to go through life ashamed to say what your name is. So now you tell everybody your name is Ann because that's your middle name, but that's everybody's middle name.
There is a story of a guy that said they're having a daughter, and her mom and wife wants to name the daughter after her grandmother, and of course the grandmother's name is Karen.
Oh,
so
no.
It's like, I don't want my child being a walking meme for the rest of her life.
Spell it different. No, because it's gonna sound the same.
Still gonna be Karen.
Still gonna be Karen.
Like there's certain names, right? Like, I don't know. I can't speak for other communities, but like, you know, Karen, Amy,
Amber, Heather.
Well, no, but Amber and Heather are beautiful names or whatnot. But it's like something about. No, I'm not saying you're saying. I'm just saying like Karen has become, you know, like representative of a certain type of person.
Yeah, period.
Amy is like considered like the whitest of white girl names, and then you got like you don't want to name your daughter. Unfortunately, I mean it's just a normal name, but you know Keisha, you can be Keisha, but you don't want to be LaKeisha no more, right? If you got a La on your name, you don't want to use it as much anymore because that's become treated like, you know, hood or whatnot. It's like there's certain names that unfortunately get sucked into a joke at one point. And then you can't shake.
You
can't shake it off.
We did have an issue in the Black community for a long time that you could take whatever name you just said, Theas, as long as you put La at the beginning.
Yeah, La Tracy. Like really?
La Tracy.
La Tracy, Latrice, LaDavius, LaDarian. I know all them. Yeah.
La Anna.
But you know what name you don't want to use? Rufus. I ain't met nobody. I ain't met no young Rufus. I ain't met a young Rufus ever.
But that's the same thing as you never met a young Bertha.
Have you ever
met
young
Geraldine?
Have you ever met somebody named Earl? Nope.
Yes.
Yes. I have.
You've met somebody? I have never met anybody.
I got a guy. I know a dude that's.
How old is this Earl?
15.
Oh, he was named after his great grandfather.
There are young Earls.
Yeah,
because Earl ain't so bad.
Yes, it is.
Earl ain't so bad.
Earl, Tyrone, Jamal.
Jamal is a wonderful name. Tyrone. Ever since Erykah Badu made that song, it kind of messed it up for Tyrone a little bit.
Yeah, it messed it up.
But I know two white guys named Tyrone, so I'm like, okay, that one doesn't have the same connotation. I don't know no white guy named Jamal. Period.
Yeah, but you gotta watch how you put that name.
Wait a minute, what's Jerry Seinfeld's real name?
Jerome.
Jerome.
Jerome in the house. But see, like you can't name nobody Jerome.
Yeah.
And I got an
you
uncle Jerome. I got a cousin Jerome.
I have
So
an
you gotta
uncle
be real
Jerome.
careful though how you use the word Tyrone though. Because if he's like a specialty or something, like he fits cars or something like that, and your car break down, man, you better call Tyrone. And now you're
But I
walking.
like the name Tyrone. Like if I had to have another name, Tyrone or Quentin or Quincy, those are all names I like.
Them all sound like you should be in the nursing home.
Quentin and Quincy?
Yeah, especially Quincy. I'm like, what nursing home? Like, where's your AARP card at? Come on. Like,
You know
really?
what? We are definitely finna move on. I said we was gonna end early and we come up with names. We get on some
I'm just saying, I like it. Those are names I actually like because I was like, I used to one of my like my club name whenever I could remember it was Q, it was short for Quentin. You know what I'm saying? That was what I did. I only used it a couple times.
Say again.
Because it was easier than trying to explain my real name because people for some reasons it's what again? Okay. Just call me Q.
And it didn't take me but 2 days.
Yeah, like
because it's literally 2 words.
Yeah.
The, us.
Yeah.
Yep. But if you've never heard it before, people struggle with it. And then don't you dare hear it over the phone.
Maybe my mother was a real big basketball fan, and I remember basketball players. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's his Theus.
That's what I was named after. Yeah.
How many times did they misspell it or mispronounce?
My name?
Yeah.
All the time.
Your name does not get.
I have yet to find out how Marlon is Myron, Myron. Dude, it ain't special. It's 2 syllables, bro. Let's go. M-A-R, Mar. It ain't never changed. It ain't never changed since the beginning of the alphabet. M-A-R, Mar. L-O-N, Lon. Come on.
No, your guys' names are easy to spell. I promise on Facebook, you can see my name is clearly spelled Tracy. Guarantee somebody will put an E. I'm like, do you see an
it's supposed
E?
to have an E in it.
No, that's not what my parents did not put an E in my name. They didn't. No, they didn't. They named me Tracy. Why you putting? If I had a nickel for every time somebody spelled my name with E, I have at least $1,000. At least $1,000. I'm like,
I'm not even gonna go with Clyburn. Okay, that's Clayburn. Tell me, in which part of society has the Y ever been pronounced as an A? Tell me when. Egyptian time, mythology. Tell me when has the Y ever been pronounced as an A?
Yeah, Anna's got an easy name.
You're in the South, man.
A-N-N-A. Like it's spelled both the same forward and backwards.
They still get it wrong.
No, they'll get it wrong. They spell with just one
Anna,
N.
does your name have 1 N or 2?
2.
2? And is it short for anything?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what's it short for? I didn't know it was short for something.
Annabelle.
Anna Louise.
Leanne.
See, there you go.
I would have never got that.
I like the name Leanne.
But they do that with my wife, though. My wife's name is Kim. And everybody keeps saying Kimberly. And
yeah, because
no, it is Kim. On the birth certificate, it's Kim. And everybody keep thinking, it's short for Kimberly or something. No, and my wife keeps saying
because Kim is a boy's name.
What?
Kim is a boy's name. Kim is a boy's name, and Kimberly is a female's name.
How many Kims
Where
you
do
know?
Look it up.
No Kim.
Go to Google
I know
and
one
see if
Kim.
I'm
Look
right.
it up, nothing. I didn't know enough
I
people.
am correct.
I ain't met no boy named Kim.
Kim is
the only
a
boy
boy's
I know
name.
named Kim
Kimberly
is a singer, and it's K-E-M.
Kim is a boy's name. It is
Kim
a
is a girl's name. That boy may have a girl's name, but Kim is a girl's name.
Kimberly is a girl's name. Kim is
that
a
is
boy's
as well.
Is Kim.
No, Ken
is
a girl. Ken is a boy's name.
And even the first only boy that I know whose name is Kim is spelled K-E-M.
That's a singer.
Yeah.
That's a stage name.
But
Look
either
it
way,
up and see if I'm right.
I mean, the beautiful
Kim
thing about the time we
Jong-il.
live in now. Who?
Kim Jong-il.
Okay, so you had to go to China to go find somebody.
South
Okay,
Korea. See,
but
you done got the
That's
country
his
all wrong.
family name.
go
That's
to another
not a
country.
first name.
I know,
and
but
that's
I'm
his
just saying.
last name. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But
Kim Jong-un.
what I was gonna say though is the beautiful thing of now, the time we are in now, is everybody's name could be any old thing. Like you got white folks with traditionally black names, you got black folks with traditionally white names, you got boys who got girl names and girls who got boy names. At this point, your name is whatever your name is. But when you start talking about people who are 40 and 50 years old, I ain't never met a male Kim.
Male.
Kim.
Okay, so Parker, you are right. Tracy Morgan doesn't. Tracy McGrady, he spells his name with an E. That's a traditional girl spelling. I get that my name is the traditional male spelling. But it still ain't got no E in it. And y'all still be getting on my nerves when y'all put an E in my name. Stop that. Don't put no E's in my name.
I could imagine that happening to you all of the time. Kind of like I can imagine if Anna just tells somebody her name, that her name can come up A-N-A or A-N-N-A, depending upon who it is she's talking to and where they come from. I can guarantee you that will happen. I keep getting Zeus. They're like, oh, your name's like the Greek god Zeus. I'm like, no.
Okay, I stand corrected. I stand corrected on the name Kim. Kim, K-I-M, is a male and female unisex given name. It is also used as a diminutive or nickname for such as someone named Kimber, Kimberly, Kimball, and Kimco.
Kimera.
And Kenya. I
So I've never met anybody named Kenya that spelled their name K-I-N. I've always known Kenya to be spelled K-E-N-Y-A, but that's probably a cultural thing. I don't know. But you go around the world, you're going to find all kinds of variations of names.
Yeah.
But
I have never heard Kenya spelled Kim. Kenya has been Kenya. I've never heard
Kenya's always been like the country, I know, but
yeah, I've never
that's just
heard
who we've encountered here in America, though.
I'm just reading what Google says, so I stand corrected. But I knew
So this is a fun 15-minute tangent that we just found ourselves on.
I promise you, I think subconsciously.
I still don't want people spell my name with an E. I'm gonna say that and be correct.
I think subconsciously when
well,
I
if
say,
I spell it I-E, would that be a problem?
I don't like I-E-E-E-C-Y-E-C-E-E-C-I-E-E-C. No. T-R-A-C-Y. My name's got 5 letters. That's it. That's all you got to do. Go with them 5.
Me too. 5 letters. I'm with you. T-R-A-C-Y. T-R-A-C-Y. That's for unity.
Don't worry. The next time I'll never say that we're running short ever again. I'm just gonna let the clock run.
We can still do it, man. We talking about
it's only 9
man, we could have been 3 videos in by now.
You got another one?
Yeah, we're on Foxy videos of the week. I know it's been like 2 hours since we got on this conversation about names.
Why you gotta get smart about
We just had like 2 videos.
Just asking a question.
We did what?
We just did like 2 videos.
We haven't played 1 video, Foxy video. None.
Oh.
I'm gonna go back and watch this episode.
What you waiting for? Come on.
It's your show.
You slowing everything down.
Just when?
Marlon just slowing everything down.
Hate you all. I'm not even going to introduce. I'm just going to play the video.
There's male fragility, and then there's whatever this is.
Imagine you and a man get a flat tire while driving down the road, and he gets out to fix the flat tire. And then you get out and say, oh, honey, I can get it this time. I can fix the tire.
If we were driving and we got a flat tire, and my wife's like, you stay here, I got it. I'd be like, when did you learn to change a tire? Good for you. Can we do it together? I want to see. This is amazing.
You're emasculating him by trying to be the provider.
And so what labor is she allowed to do without emasculating you? If she does the laundry, is that emasculating? That's labor. If she does the dishes or cooks you dinner, is that emasculating too? Or is she allowed to do that labor? Why is changing the tire going to fracture your masculine nature, but her doing all these other things for you, that's okay? Answer that question.
You are a sorry, and this is going to be male-centric. You are a sorry SOB to be a man sitting in the car while your woman changes the tire. You
are
a
so
sorry little something.
That's so
You a
sexist,
sorry little something.
misogynistic.
Yes, it is. It's very misogynistic.
Because
I'll
maybe
tell you
he
right
doesn't
now.
know how to. Maybe she knows how to change the tire and he doesn't.
Well, then he need to get his ass out the car and be squatted next to her so she can teach him how to do a changing a
There's
tire
no such thing as a
situation.
man's job. I can't believe it.
I didn't say it was a man's job. Now this is a male role.
You just said it. You
else.
just said literally, if you sit yourself in the
literally
car
say
while
that's a
your
man's
woman is
job.
changing the
Yes.
tire, you a sorry bleak man.
It's
Did you
not
not
about a
just say
job.
that?
It's not about a job. I will teach my children how to change a tire.
For a woman, it's a sorry SOB and all this other stuff that she sits in the car while he changes the tire.
Yeah.
No, that was my words. Those weren't her words.
And that's not my question. I said, so would the woman be a sorry SOB if she sits in the car and the guy changes the tire?
In my world, no.
Yes.
No.
So why is it reversed?
Because I think that a man should be the one who gets his ass out there and runs the risk of getting hit by a car or whatever it may be while he's changing that tire. I'm also the one
2023, not 1904.
And I'm telling you how I feel about it. You know how you like to say, this is my opinion? This is my opinion. If I'm walking down the street with a woman, then I'm going to make sure that I'm on the side closest to the traffic. I believe that a man should do that. If I'm walking through the parking lot, I'm going to make sure that the woman is closest to the parked cars and I'm the one closest to the inside, because you know what? Physiologically, if a car comes by at a low enough speed and hits me, I have a better chance of surviving than she does. That's part of the reason why we're supposed to get out there and change the damn tire, because the odds of survival is a little higher for me. So if you want a man, hey, women, it's up to you. You choose the men you want. You want a man who's going to sit his ass in the car and be warm and safe while you out there changing the tire, get you one of them men. But that's also going to be the man you complain about later. I'm like, you don't ever want to go and do nothing to take care of me. Or, oh, wait, there's a noise in the house. Oh, wait, baby, I heard something. Can you go downstairs and see what happened downstairs? What the hell? No, get your ass up and go handle these things.
Should she cook you dinner in a maid's costume while she serves you and bathes you and brushes your teeth for you? Any other stereotypes?
I wouldn't want a woman who do that.
You have gone for every male stereotype. I cannot believe I'm listening to this.
No, I didn't. The stereotypes that I have given are the stereotypes, and they are what do you call it? What's the word you used? You used the word for it a little while ago. When it's like male, you know what I'm saying?
Misogynistic.
But all these, there you go. What I'm saying is misogynistic, because you know what? The world is full of double standards. That's how the world is built. You don't get away from it, right? So you find the man that works for you. When you find you a man that wants to sit in the car while you go change a tire because you know how, then congratulations, you have found a wonderful man who will make sure the music is on the right channel and the temperature inside the car stays constant. So when you get back in the car after changing the tire, you can be comfortable. He may even turn on the heated seats for you.
When you command the females in your house, do you clap your hands first for them to come, or do you just call them to come to you?
This is literally the most.
What? That's not even the same thing.
That's
you reach your way out somewhere in left field.
This is the most misogynistic
you so
thing that I have ever heard come out of your mouth. You literally, first of all, since I'm a man, let's go ahead and just go through it.
Let's do it.
I would change the tire because I know how to change the tire. I don't want my wife at a certain point to even have to deal with it. However, I have taught my wife how to change a tire because I don't want her to have to deal with situations like that. Now,
you didn't say
here's my
nothing
deal.
different than what I said. Go for
Wait a
it.
minute. No, I'm going to get to your point. That one time have I ever thought about I'm going to go change the tire because some part of my body can be a cushion towards a car coming towards me better than twice.
I would rather every day of the week, twice on Sunday, that if somebody gonna get hit by a car in my family, that I be the one who took that risk before they did. I would rather, if there's a sound in my house that can't nobody else recognize, I would be the one that you got to go through to get to them. If somebody break in my house, even if I can't fight, even though I can, but let's just say I couldn't fight, I would still be the first one. You got to go through me to get to them. I am that dude. I believe that a man should stand on that wall. He should protect the people that he say he cares for, and that's just my thing. I'm a dinosaur. That's cool. You can go ahead and be current time male, and y'all can cry together in the corner and figure out who's going to go downstairs to find out what's happening downstairs.
Why do you go the freaking extreme because somebody did something totally different?
Changing a tire is not gender specified.
So
must be
it's
male.
not gender specified.
Put the right channel
it's not gender specified.
Maybe she knows how to do something that he doesn't. That's funny. He doesn't know.
She probably knows a whole lot of things. And if he don't know how to change a tire, then just as a person, that should make him decide to say, okay, all right, I'm going to get out the car too. Maybe I can learn how to change a damn tire. What the hell?
He can watch
Get out the car.
He can watch YouTube.
Get out the car.
Maybe he's a better.
Get out the car.
But look, maybe he's a better cook than she is. Maybe he takes care of the children better than she does. It absolutely does. You're giving specific. You're giving a specific. You're giving a specific role to men. No,
I love these discussions with you because you're so biased that you won't acknowledge your own bias. I've told you that I'm biased. I've told you that where my viewpoint's coming from. And I'm saying that as a man, if you don't know how to change a tire, that's fine. No one taught you how to change a tire. And you happen to be in a car with a woman who does know how to change a tire, fine. But my problem is you don't stay in the car. Get your ass out the car. Because if you don't know how to change a tire, here's a hell of a good time to learn. You can go ahead and learn something real quick, young man. So the next time there's something happens, you can go ahead and change the tire. Nah, you ain't gonna sit. That's like when I see a dude at the gas station sitting in the car, unless you are disabled. Why are you sitting in the car and she out there pumping the gas? I don't like that.
I have a problem with that, Tracy.
How you got a problem with that? You ain't got a problem with the tire. How you got a problem with that? Ain't got a problem with the tire.
I always had a problem with seeing some dude sitting in the car while the woman out there pumping gas. It's like,
Marlon, how you got a problem with that? Don't have a problem with the tire.
Child, I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Going by this story, the guy said, "Hey,
you've known him for how long? He has said what he has said for how long?
I'm like, huh? I'm with that guy. How is her changing a tire emasculating you? How?
It's not emasculating him. It ain't about him.
No, I'm talking about the guy in the video. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the guy in the video is asking a very good. First of all, I ain't changing no tire. I'm calling AAA. So that's just me.
And you're going to be out there on the side of the road for 2 hours. If you can learn how to change the tire, you out in 20 minutes.
And I'm going to keep going.
I've literally
AAA is my friend.
I literally taught my wife.
My hands were not built for manual labor. They were not. I am not built for manual labor.
And apparently neither were the hands of this young man sitting in the car.
But he might have just got his hands done. Maybe he takes care of the children.
Maybe he's a surgeon.
There you go.
Maybe he's a surgeon and he's got to protect his hands.
There you go. He didn't change the tire. Maybe he just got his nails done. Maybe he
That's
just got his
photographer.
Why wouldn't you got to go the extreme the other way?
I also said he could be a surgeon. You ain't like that part. How come you didn't pick out the other part?
Because I agree with
because it didn't work for you. Because it didn't work for you. See, y'all can't. Hey, if you gonna get in the ring.
No,
hey, you gonna get in the ring? Let's box.
I disagree with the surgeon thing. If it's a surgeon thing, no dude go change the tire.
He's used to using his hands if he's a surgeon.
Photographer.
Yeah, but maybe he got his nails done. Now he knows what best
maybe he did.
Put on the radio.
Do men not get their nails done? Do men wait, Marlon? Do men not get their nails done?
Why we got to go to the extreme?
How's that an extreme? Do men not get their nails done?
And
I know lots of men that do.
Yeah, I know lots of men that get their nails done.
Thank you. So
I think it's a good thing.
So you can't.
I also think it's a good thing that a woman can change a tire.
No.
You can't swing both ways.
This is splitting conversations.
I'm
The
splitting
full
hairs because you're
conversation
being
was
silly.
he didn't want to go out there because to change the tire because maybe he got his nails done. He knew exactly what the statement was.
I know
Then he
exactly what I was saying.
Okay, and then
But I
he
noticed
knows the
though,
right station to
but
turn
I
to.
said it the way I said it. I said it the way I said it on purpose. I said that, and then I followed it with the surgeon statement just to see what you would do. And what did you do? You chose the one that feminized the conversation and not the other one. And your excuse was, well, I kind of agree with the other one. You were choosing which way to go with the wind here. It doesn't work, bro. You can't do that.
It's not because you keep
You
thinking that every
blew all
argument.
your credibility right there.
You know, I don't because you think
You're like,
every
oh, wait a minute, I
argument
can't
is
do nothing with the
lateral.
second one, but
Every
that first one I can do something
every
with.
argument is not a straight line. I can agree with this when I disagree with this, and it's like you can agree with this, but you can't agree with this. Oh, that's wrong. It's like
No, it's fine. You can, but what I'm saying is
change
you are not being consistent in your argument. If you're
because you're
saying
not
that me
keeping the
saying,
context
hold up.
correct.
If you are saying that me saying that him staying in the car is somehow making him an effeminate situation, but then me saying him getting his nails done does effeminize him, then you have a problem with how this thing is going as well. You just may not have the same contentions that I do, but you don't have clean hands here. And then when we talk about pumping gas, we actually had the same frustration with that. I put in an exception and said maybe this person is disabled. Because if the guy is disabled, then my argument goes away, which I did say. So this is just hilarious to me because I'm telling y'all that my viewpoint may not be the best viewpoint. And I'm telling you that I am a bit of a dinosaur. And I'm telling you that I do correspond to many gender specific roles. So when it comes to something like this, no, I think you're wrong because you won't be honest with your own position. I'm being honest with what I'm saying. And I'm very consistent. I'm telling you that from my point of view, that dude, if he doesn't know how to change a tire, he needs to get out and learn because that says something about you that you didn't want to even go learn. You're going to let her go out there and change a tire. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't like the word let. You're going to sit here while she go out there and change a tire and not even show curiosity to learn how to do this. What happens if you have a flat tire and she's not around, homeboy? So these are things that she can teach you. Can you not learn from women? I don't know what your problem is. I don't care. My point is, as a man, I would rather take on any potential physical risk before she does.
Next time, I would never say that we're.
How is that wrong, Tracy?
I'm gonna take the fifth. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just done.
You take the fifth because you don't make a point. I'm just saying.
My point is, women can do whatever the bleep we want to do.
I never said women can't. Said women can't. Not one time that I say women can't.
You can have one time. Stance. You can have a stance. That don't mean everybody got to agree because you verbally told everybody, hey, this is how I feel. So what's wrong with that? That ain't how this works. You can have a stance. You can feel the way you feel. You can be upfront.
He isn't asking for everyone's
I'm not
agreement.
asking for you to agree with me.
And that's why I said I'm
my
done.
Stance, that's when I say something.
I mean, if he want to have antiquated, outdated views of women, hey, that's him.
That's a very interesting take. Okay. Let's see how well that works for everyone.
I just said I'm done.
Welcome to 2023. Everybody's tired.
No, we not. I'm not tired at all.
I'm tired.
That's because y'all take 15 different naps every day.
You wasn't here early enough to know why I'm tired, so I don't even know why I'm rushing the show. Anyway.
We're literally all being quiet right now.
I know. Next video.
Okay, so hear me out. We need to combine a quinceañera, a black people cookout, and then a white people get together. I don't know what y'all call your stuff. Black people, we in charge of the food. I'm gonna be on the grill. Grandma and Auntie gonna be in the kitchen whipping up the macaroni and cheese, the sides, and the desserts, all right? Hispanics, y'all in charge of the music and the alcohol. Don't nobody throw a party like y'all throw a party. We know that party gonna go until at least 3 a.m., if not 3 a.m. into the next day. White people, y'all are the most innovative when it comes to side activities, so y'all gonna be in charge of that, whether that be water slide, kickball, mudding, shooting guns, whatever y'all got, bring to the table. We gonna have some fun. This gonna be a big bomb-ass party. We all gonna come together, have some good food, and have some good time. If you down, let me know. Yeah.
That'd be a fun ass party.
It really will.
That would be.
That really would. When know your lane actually is a good thing.
Yes. Don't put raisin in the potato salad. Don't do that.
Nope. Black people in charge of the food.
Who would do such a thing?
I'm not calling no race of people. I would not do that. Because I've seen some black folk do that. I'm like, who raised you?
I'm still trying to get over the lady who seasoned the chicken by going.
I still have never gotten past blueberry mac and cheese.
Next video.
Yes, please.
Oh my God. Viewer discretion is. Next video.
I just don't really understand how someone could be pro-choice. Like, if your mom had an abortion, you wouldn't be here today. Yeah, I wouldn't, but I also wouldn't be here if my parents on like a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday, you know? What if my mom was like, not tonight, honey, and my dad was like, it, and like shot one off into the abyss? I wouldn't be here today. I would be in a napkin with the rest of my brethren, my fallen comrades. I would be in a sock, perhaps, kissing my existence goodbye while I soaked into the polyester. Like, we haven't even talked about the New York City Marathon that was the race to the egg. Like, I won, me, because apparently I am the Michael Phelps of cum. I'm built different. You know, there were a lot of insignificant choices that were made that led to me being here. Existence is like entirely random, and reproduction is like the lottery. And what that means is that Nick Cannon has a gambling addiction.
I love her. Her explanation was wonderful.
It was spot on.
It was perfect in every way.
I put that video up simply because
they should have had it quiet.
I never thought of that. I literally never thought of using that as an argument. Like,
every last one of us is a miracle. Everything had to line up exactly right
at the right moment.
This version of you to be here.
And Nick Cannon has.
Yeah, he hit the lottery.
Well, apparently he beats the dealer quite often.
And still going, apparently. How many are you up to now?
12. And don't ask me how I know that. Just don't. I just know it.
But you know, it's kind of interesting. The big thing with him having so many kids, first of all, ain't none of our business. But second of all, I guess one of the issues is because he has so many mothers of the children, right? Because grandpa and them had like 10, 11 kids, and nobody really thought much about it. But him, he's running around, he's got multiple mothers of these children. My only frustration with Nick Cannon and his proclivity to procreate is he does have lupus, and the more children you have with the different people, the higher the odds are that genetic tracer will match up with someone else's. And now you've given your child the same struggle that you've had to battle because you were reckless with how you were doing. I mean, if I had lupus, I would hope to believe that I would make sure that whomever I want to have a child with, we actually had the genetic testing done to reduce the odds that I would pass this on, because lupus is such a horrible, horrible thing to have to deal with.
Any chronic disease is going to be terrible. Any of them.
Yes, but I've lost. My young cousin died of lupus. My paternal aunt died of lupus. My another paternal aunt by marriage died of lupus. So lupus is like really sensitive for me because I've seen what it does to the body and it does and all those things. I have a couple of friends who have it as well. And it's just like when you know the struggle that comes with that, it would just seem to me, especially when you're someone of means, that you would want to make sure that you're reducing the odds of your child, potentially ending up with that, because that's such a heavy load. He's even spoken on how much of a heavy load it is for him. So why would you be kind of careless about it?
Yeah. All right, last video, and the only reason I'm even play this video is because of yesterday's video where we was joking about and I have black friends too, so I don't understand, and this video came at the perfect time.
I would like to address the backlash that I have received for an interview that I did recently where I was accurately quoted for things that I said. People are going around bullying me by calling me a bigot. And I didn't actually say anything against the gays. Anyone who knows me knows that I love everybody. I can wave and smile to anyone, no matter how disgusting I actually think that they are, okay? So of course, I love the LGBT people. But does that mean that I want to work with them or see them or be around them or like acknowledge their humanity? No, I tell you what this is. This is just persecution by the media.
Conservative logic 101.
Yeah. He loves everybody except.
Yep. Love everybody except the ones I don't love.
Or at least that's what I'm going to tell you. Well, behind closed doors. I don't want y'all to.
They don't even get behind closed doors anymore. They just let it roll out there. And I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's so unfortunate. But I kind of give young people more of a pass than older. Like up to age 25, I'm probably not going to take too much of what you say personally because you're probably just regurgitating something that's been downloaded to you. But by 25, these are your thoughts.
Yeah.
Like this is you.
Yeah. This is the hill you want to die on. So yeah. Just tell everybody where they can find you.
So you can find me hanging out on Radical Truth and Power with Marlon and Tracy and Anna. You know what I'm saying? I'm that one who's sitting here driving everybody crazy, getting on everybody's nerves, but I truly do love these people. I love all three of them. They just amazing people. It is a blessing that they were brought into my life going on 2 years ago, I believe, at this point. So you can find me generally where you can find them, wherever the right pointing directions are. There.
Anna, I have no idea what the hell all that was. Anna.
AureliaEtc.com.
Tracy.
This Saturday, you can find me and hopefully somebody from this team of mine to be at the Say What Awards. We're taping Saturday where we're celebrating the best of the worst, and eventually it will be aired at TracyMediaLLC.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show for tonight. Is when you're gonna put another video up on your channel.
All right, so actually I can speak to that. So on my channel, the most recent videos have been behind the Patreon wall. And I did do another video. I think I forgot to upload it is what happened. The one that we did on Zoom recently. So honestly, I don't know. At this moment, I'm having computer issues, so I don't have access to all my stuff. So I don't know. That's why I didn't even plug my own thing, man. It's an embarrassment, and I'm sorry, but yeah, that's why.
Well, that's why we need to support these fine individuals. That's why we need to get them the equipment to put out this wonderful and entertaining information on a weekly basis. So please go to their Patreon page and support them. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
Thank you to everybody who supports the whole Radical family. Everybody, thank you. And Ted Cruz for president, 2025.
Took you 15 votes, bro. 15 votes.